Vegard, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
All right, so my first question is a little about the history of the AVR. I started using them in about 1999 in a point-of-sale terminal we were designing, a little startup here. What was the history? Did you work on it at school?
Yeah, so the history, base history is back to 1990, 1991, where the first generation came out as work a colleague of mine, Alf, and I did at the University of Trondheim. And I made what's the first generation of AVR as my master thesis, and I brought a copy of that.
Let's look at this. This is history. This is great.
This is history. So this is the master thesis of 1991, which is analysis and development of a RISC-based on-chip microcontroller, which and the RISC, 8-bit RISC, is really the core of the AVR, and it's fun to read back. I haven't read it for quite some time, and as you see, Paul, there is at these dates, these times we were writing
register definition, schematics, and now was it Harvard from the beginning, Harvard architecture instead of von Neumann right from the beginning?
Yeah, it really was. At the university, we had a very good computer science department and electronics department, and thanks to strong professors and staff in those departments that thought us to be and inspired us to be interested in this domain, as well as we actually have still have a makers lab at the university where we made cool stuff and things on our spare time outside the university, which led us to use microcontrollers and those architectures at that point in time. Those were hard to use, didn't have the proper tools, I would say, and also instruction set wise were complex and basically not easy to use. Yeah. That very much led us to the idea of doing something which was much more regular, simpler in its base architecture, and much more of a single cycle execution machine from the point of views of really making it easy for the end user to make control products out of it.
Did you think even in university that about compiling C and it would be an 8-bit micro that would run C and run it well?
Yes, we were very much thinking of high-level languages, as that was it was in its very early days, but assembly was very awkward to really be efficient on. And the C-like instructions and stuff were things we were actually thinking of from the very beginning to make it efficient and easy to use from a higher level point of view.
Oh, that's great. So did you ever get into a hardware development at the university level, or did that come later when you partnered with Atmel?
Yeah, so we did make some ASIC prototypes out of it already, the very first generation. That didn't have flash, it used ROM, so the program had to be thoroughly simulated to start with, such that simulation made a perfect program which was programmed in ROM and went into the ASIC and worked.